Standard Gains Podcast, episode 32, take 1.
Here we go. And today we have a guest from the UK called Mo Samuels, and we talk about a lot of things, about his fitness journey and how he actually recently went from more fitness to calisthenics.
Exactly. And we're going to talk about some epic business stuff as well. And also, he started his YouTube journey, funny enough, very similar to how I started my YouTube journey, with one video, body transformation, that exploded. This is a super epic episode. I hope you enjoy.
And the most important question of all, who is Mo Samuels?
That's a bit of a tricky one, really. Obviously, I'm most known for fitness and YouTube. I call myself a content creator. I've never referred to myself as an influencer or anything along those lines, but I'm just someone that likes to create content, like tell stories, make videos. And then I'm most primarily known for, or things started to take off for me in that kind of sphere, with fitness and other things. So long story short, I was hospitalized pretty young. I got like a lifelong condition in my leg that's like never going to get better. Like it's degenerative, play the world's smallest little violin for me. And basically I spent a lot of time in and out of hospital. And then I found fitness through that, wanting to be able to walk again and other things. And then that kind of spiraled into making YouTube videos about it. That took off, did a transformation video. And then from there, I've got into like a lot more mindset stuff. And then I also like to go out, party and have fun as well, and stay fit, healthy, in shape, and do crazy things pretty much. That's my life.
So there's about 5,000 things in 1 minute I think we could discuss.
I guess that's the fastest who is and then the guest
we've ever had.
And I don't think anyone is going to beat that anytime soon. But no, that's pretty epic. Yeah, I've seen your transformation video. I think what year did you upload that? 2016?
I can't remember, man. I was about 19 years old, so it's probably like 5-6 years ago when I did it. So maybe, it sounds about right. I think it's 2016.
Yeah. Okay. So then that video, I uploaded a video as well, similar to that. So I think both videos did sort of the same path. So that was funny. I checked that out.
Great minds think alike.
There we go.
Nice.
Let's start with what you're probably best known for at the moment, which is the fitness. And what I find interesting is, a while back I saw that you've been switching quite a bit to functional training. So as you probably know, well, Stan is a lot into functional, well, only calisthenics. I always do a mix. How was that for you? Why did you decide to go there?
Yeah. So basically, I felt like I completed the gym.
Okay.
I just really, I'm joking. Well, I'm half joking. So I've trained for so long, man. I've trained since I was about 15 years old, and it's obviously you do something for. Like I was obsessed. Like when I say like obsessed, I mean very obsessed. I used to spend like 3 hours a day in the gym, and I'd never think anything of it. Like it's just kind of my life. It's just like the same as getting up in the morning, brushing your teeth. Like it's just what I'd normally do. And I did that for like 3, 4, 5 years. So now I've trained for 10 years in total. I started when I was 15. I'm 25 now. And it just got to a point where like, okay, like I'm pretty happy with the way I look. I don't care about being much bigger. I'm arrogant enough to be like, yeah, I look great in the morning in the mirror. And I don't really have like any kind of like, at this point in my life, I don't experience any kind of muscle dysmorphia or anything along those lines that a lot of guys do. So it got to a point where I was like, okay, I've won shows, I've competed, I've got the physique that I've always wanted. Like, what do I do now? And it was, I remember chatting to you actually about calisthenics before I did any. You were telling me about a front lever. I had no idea what it was.
Yep.
And
can you do it by now? Because with your physique,
really?
I can.
Can
that's
you?
impressive.
Yeah.
What was your progression when you started? When you tried it for the first time?
So I started off like basically with calisthenics. I started off, I was living in Portugal, and they were in lockdown as well. And there was only a calisthenics park to train in. So I started training at a calisthenic park. I just wanted to be able to muscle up. Like that's all I wanted to be able to do. So started doing that, got the muscle up. And then it was only like a few months in that I started to actually train for or try and do a front lever. Because at the minute I do like a bodybuild. Obviously I have to keep like that level of aesthetics and muscle. So I do like a bodybuilding / calisthenics split. So basically weighted calisthenics in my training. But I'd say a few months, man, the progression with the calisthenics, because I had that foundation of training was ridiculous. Like it was pretty ridiculous how quick I progressed that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, you gotta have some decent strength for that to be able to learn that within a year. If you can do that within a year.
And you're also, well, I mean, you're very lean right now, at least if that's what I've seen in your stories and your posts. But you're not the lightest person out there to do a front lever.
No.
How much do you weigh right now?
At the minute, so I've been indulging in toxic behaviors the last week, and basically just been getting food with a girl for like a week solid. So I've gained about 2 kilos, 87 at the moment.
Okay.
But but yeah, I'm trying to, like, overall, like you guys are saying with the functionality stuff, I want to bring my weight down. So I want to sit around like 80, 85 consistently and just lose a bit of size. 'Cause I'm into skydiving as well. And at the minute, I'm too heavy for my parachute. But
too heavy for your parachute, right?
How does one find out you're too heavy for a parachute?
You just find out,
You
man.
just find out
during
you're
the fall.
falling.
Yeah. Well, if you're really too heavy, then you're definitely going to know about it. But basically, the heavier you are, the faster you go. So it's quite fun being too heavy, but equally it can be quite dangerous as well. So you should probably lose a bit of weight,
or get a bigger parachute.
Doesn't sound very fun.
Okay. So wow, we're so going all over the place, which is pretty cool.
I mean, I want to stick to that sort of journey a little bit more in terms of you started, and in terms of your journey fitness. When did you link it to YouTube, and why did you link it to YouTube? Why did you start YouTube, or was your transformation one of your first videos?
No, so it's a weird one. I've been making videos since I was like 10 years old, man. Like ever since I was a little kid, I used to make these I still do, but my life when I was younger was surfing. So I used to surf all the time and make these like surf videos. And then I'd make like jackass type videos, like little squeaky 10-year-old me. So I've always been like a content creator. I love to create like visuals and create things. And I'd actually been doing, I went to uni, I started doing like fitness things. And I can't sugarcoat it. It's a very, I don't know what the word is, very egotistical way of starting. But basically, I had a girlfriend at university at the time, and she used to have this friend, Sean Thompson TV. I don't know if you remember, anyone remembers him. He was like one of the first Gymshark athletes that was like a normal person. And he was like, I used to like, she was like, oh, I've got a guy that my friend makes YouTube videos, blah, blah, blah. She showed me his YouTube videos, and I was like, I like really, really liked him. I was like, his physique is pretty shit. Like, it's terrible. And he's like sponsored by Gymshark. He's getting these hundreds of thousands of views. And I was like, I look way better than him. I could do that easily. So then I started to make YouTube videos. I'd started training, like I was training anyway at this point, and I quickly realized that it wasn't as easy as it looked. But I kind of like fell in love with the process of like content creation and training and putting the two together. And then came out of his transformation video. Obviously, that blew up and yada yada yada.
Yeah, and then you got signed by Gymshark.
I did. I got signed by Gymshark, which is pretty good because that was always like when I first started. That was like the goal. Like I want to be sponsored by Gymshark.
Do we want to go a bit into there, because of course you are no longer sponsored by Gymshark?
Go into it, man.
Okay, well, what happened?
I have a very like
how are you gonna word this? I'm interested.
Yeah, how am I gonna word this? Basically,
just be uncensored. Just be uncensored. Just tell us.
Okay, yeah. Basically, I'm low key rude as fuck. So, like for example, I think there was like like you got British, obviously you got British banter or sense of humor or whatever, and I'm like, I dish it out and I take it to my friends, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, like the non-PG-ness of my YouTube content, Gymshark really didn't like.
I thought, was part of that the fact that you show certain party lifestyle and maybe some...
No, okay, well, people are going to be like imagining me like focusing.
No.
I think that's kind of one of the things. I go out a lot. I like to party and other stuff. But I think it's probably a combination where they wanted to portray a certain brand image. I'm not willing to conform to that image entirely with because a lot of my content is going out, is like meeting girls, is having a good time. And then combine that with the like me being me and not willing to change and being stubborn. It is what it is. But I felt like I'd done it. It was fantastic. I met some fucking awesome people from it, and like I don't regret anything. But now I'm with VQ, and like I couldn't be happier with them, to be honest.
I want to go back to something you went over super fast in the beginning of your story, which is your leg and the fact that basically through fitness you were able to walk, or I don't know how serious was it?
So that's a hard question, but
whatever you want to discuss, of course.
Yeah, no. I'm an open book. Okay. You can discuss absolutely anything with me. Like I I don't mind.
Okay, cool.
I'm unoffendable. I like to think. Well, I probably
we can
not,
try.
We could try.
Yeah, you try your best. You're probably going to fail. But yeah, with the leg thing, so I have a condition called lymphedema, which is basically you've got your lymphatic system, which is involved in the transport of tissue fluid and other things. If you bang your arm swells up, like that's going to be like tissue fluid being in, like causing the swelling. And that's involved in like other things such as your immune system, the transport of fats and various other like removal of waste products from your cells. And with me, so as if you imagine it's almost like a vascular set, like your veins. If you imagine like a second set, which is your lymphatic system, with me, it's damaged, like somewhere like around my groin. So everywhere below that in my left leg, just basically it doesn't function very well. So that makes me prone to infections. If I cut my leg, I can get like septicemia or blood poisoning, sepsis. It means I have to wear a leg support on the leg at all times, et cetera, et cetera. And basically with the condition, what I was referring to earlier is I managed to get an infection in the leg, which I don't know if it did turn into sepsis or not. I can't remember. But I basically got a condition in my leg, got an infection in my leg due to the condition, went into my blood, ended up being hospitalized, had to have surgeries to like manually clean out all the crap from my knee joint and other things. And yeah, man, that was kind of, I've had a couple of those, less than ideal, but that's what the kind of kickstarted the whole transformation video thing. I lost so much weight. I was in the like 60, I think it was like 67 kilos maybe. So 20 kilos less than I am now when that happened. Lost loads of weight, was super ill, was told like they didn't know whether I'd run again or anything because of the arthritis that can set in due to the cartilage damage from it all as well. But yeah, man.
And has fitness really helped you to improve? So has it improved due to fitness?
Oh, 100%. So yeah, it's, I think I'd be in a very different place if I didn't have fitness or didn't find fitness, in terms of like, who knows if I would have fully recovered, because I would, I haven't really told many people this, but when in the recovery, when I got released from hospital and the doctor was like, oh yeah, we don't know if you're going to run again. Or it's like, you might not be able to run normally again, which is the biggest thing. What did he say? In my head, I was kind of like, yeah, fuck you. Like, I like ignoring the guy, but I was so obsessed with like getting back to where I was and more. Because when I came out of hospital, so I'm kind of going all over the place. When I came out of hospital, my knee was pretty much locked out like this. So I couldn't fully straighten it. I couldn't fully bend it. I had like a couple of degrees of motion in it. And I wanted to get like fully mobile in it. So every morning I would stand in the shower and as hard as I could try and bend my heel to my glutes, to my ass. Yep. And I'd do it to the point where I'd be like in tears, crying in pain in the shower, just because like I was so determined to get back to that point and beyond. And then it's kind of the fitness and that complemented that. And that's how I got so into fitness and like giving it all from a fitness point of view.
I think that's super inspirational though, to see that no matter what people tell you to, if you believe in something, and of course, like with certain medical conditions, you can't reach what you've reached, but not giving up and pushing through. And now, like if you do squats, what do you squat?
Yeah.
So you're gone.
No, that's
yeah. So I was wondering, like, how does it affect your fitness in a way that, well, obviously fitness helped you, but in a way that it, if you compare yourself to others, like PRs and stuff like that, how is that going in the gym? How are you your deadlifts, your squats?
So interestingly enough, since the last like year, I haven't done, or I don't deadlift, squat, or bench, not because of the leg, but just out of preference. Yeah. I just don't like it anymore. But dude, yeah, I used to be freaking strong. Yeah. So my legs were never a massively strong point actually, but I could probably rep out like, I don't want to exaggerate, it's on my YouTube if someone wants to find it. I could probably do like 4 plates on squat for like 5 reps maybe, and then I maxed. I haven't deadlifted in like 3 years, but I think I did like 260 max deadlift. But yeah, it doesn't like, I don't let it affect me in that sense so much.
Yeah, because that's why I ask. So they tell you probably, or you might not be able to run again, and then you squat 4 plates and you deadlift 260. So I think,
that's
crazy.
I think that's crazy. That's
well,
insane.
first of all, it shows how determined you are and how much you push through. But second of all, also, I think it could be super inspirational for people who might struggle with something, right? And if you're like, I don't know if I can, there's only one way to find out. Just give it everything you got. Yeah, I think it's super cool.
I think a lot of people underestimate what they can do.
Yeah.
So it's like obviously self-limiting beliefs, blah, 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 blah. I think if you believe you can do it, you can do it. And that's like That's why I choose to ignore a lot of people, and they're like, you can't do this. I'm like, okay, watch me do this.
Yeah.
But then again, man, like you said as well, Bob, it's like going backwards a little bit. You say, or a lot of people say it's inspirational and inspiring, and like I appreciate that as well. But I also think that it's just a matter of playing the hand that you've been dealt. So like obviously everyone has issues. From someone else's perspective, they might seem like bigger or smaller issues than their own, but to that person's reality, it's like it's just an obstacle to overcome. And it's like, what else can I do? You know, there's no other option. So
I mean, you say that, but there's always two choices, right? You can either fuel the victim and say like, oh, it's so shit, I can't do this because, and unfortunately, there's people who have that. Or you are what you do and say, okay, well, this is just a fact. So how am I going to deal with it, and how am I going to make it better? Those are your two options, I think.
Yeah, that's basically what you sort of said, right?
Yeah, I like that quote. I like that quote a lot.
Yeah, I mean it's what he said, but then he said there was no other option. There's always unfortunately two options. But,
okay, that makes sense. Yes.
Yeah.
No. 100%. So we've basically seen your fitness journey, your entire and a very inspirational journey as well. A little bit more to calisthenics, I think. Functional training. That's epic. Let's get a little bit more into sort of the business side. You started YouTube, and did you ever think about it being like a business decision you obviously created content, but like making the transformation video, which looked kind of optimized, it was sort of. So what do you think when uploading the video, and what kind of thoughts and business ideas did you have, and did they turn out right?
No, so in terms of the YouTube thing, like I've really neglected. I say neglected. Like I never set out to make any money from YouTube. Like that's never been the goal since day one. Like the transformation video, dude, that's got like 10 million, 15. I don't know what it is. Is copyrighted, and like I've always, call me stupid, but I've always, maybe it's just an ego thing, but I've always favored, like in the first few years where I was like really producing YouTube content, I would get videos copyrighted so I could use a certain song because I didn't care about making any revenue from the YouTube videos. So yeah, man, I've never thought about it from that aspect. And obviously now, the last few years, I've been pushing to monetize the social media more, but equally I'm still in this mindset of like, I don't want to go down that path of, I don't want to rely on it. I'd rather rely on something external, unrelated to the comings and goings of social media, if that makes sense.
Yes,
oh yeah,
that 100% makes sense. And that's, I think, when we talk about business, what kind of business areas, venues, avenues have you been going? What are the businesses you have?
Yeah, so we've got MOTECH Labs, which is a pre-workout company. So we make supplements, pre-workouts, kind of like melt your cerebral cortex, melt your brain. So we do those. That's one of the biggest things that we do. And then also I've got something called RET as well, which is Real Evolution Training, which is with myself and a friend of mine, Tom. So we do content on mindset, lifestyle, and fitness and social skills. Well, mindset, fitness, social stuff for young lads. So let's say
more red pill.
Yeah, kind of a little bit.
Yeah.
Like not fully down that path, but we do delve in it as well. So those kind of that trifecta of things. And then we go into content relating to that and like create this community for young lads that might feel a bit alone or struggle with those things. And then those are kind of the two main things independent to the YouTube. And then, I don't know, man, there's always an inkling of me as well, that just loves to create videos. So like this is, I know I should be niching down more, but I do this just for fun. Like I've got a lot of friends in the music industry as well. Like if they ever want help with content and they're my friend, I'll be like, yeah, let's make some videos. But I do that for free the most of the time, just because I love making videos, man.
Awesome. Yes. That's epic.
Let's get a bit into the MOTECH Labs. It's actually funny. Stan and me we have a different channel where we discuss a bit of crypto, and we had some other YouTuber who was doing the editing for us, called Magnus Bulken.
I know him.
Yeah, I know, because I know he's a fan of you, I think, and a friend or whatever. And I remember he was telling me about that he was taking your pre-workout, and I mean, I think it's quite a bit stronger than most pre-workouts, at least if I had to believe it.
Yeah.
But I also think he told me, or I saw it on your website, I'm not sure, that you made it in a way that it doesn't affect your sleep as much. Is that correct? Or
yeah, so we've got a couple of products. We're pretty minimal on the different products that we produce, we've got 3 main products. 2 of those are like high stimulant crazy pre-workouts. And the third one is a non-stim pre-workout called Wobbs Dilate. And the Dilate one is what he's referring to. That's basically a pump product. So it's packed full of pump precursors and other things to like enhance blood flow, et cetera, in the gym, make you get a better pump. But then rather than putting stimulants in there, we've got like a light coating of nootropics and other things. So it's not gonna affect your sleep. You're not gonna get that adverse effect that you get in terms of if you're taking a lot of stims, it causes vasoconstriction. So obviously that's not gonna be great for a pump. Whereas we're kind of putting in ingredients that complement each other rather than cramming a load of stuff in. It's going to ruin your sleep. It's going to melt your brains. That's kind of our product that's like, okay, yeah, you can take this a little bit later. Cool. I don't know about you guys, but I used to be so reckless of my pre-workout use when I first started training, man.
So I think, well, Stan, do you ever take
I never take pre-workout.
Thought so.
Really?
Yes, I always just mainly use like a BCAAs or Monster. Just that's my pre-workout. I think I get why people would like it, but like that tingly feeling and everything, it just messes with my focus.
I mean, but
I'll send you some. We'll change that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've taken especially when I started in the gym, I took a lot of different pre-workouts. Some of them were then illegal because they were too strong or other things, so we had to buy them in Germany.
Well, like Jack 3D
Yes.
Yeah.
that one was really well. And I did it. I actually had a discussion with a friend of mine. We did a workout yesterday, and that's the guy I used to do workouts with when we started. And he would always have an additional scoop of beta-aniline.
Oh, yeah.
And now he switched to only taking beta-aniline because now there's apparently research showing that actually gives you better results and a longer, or like in the gym, which the reason he took it back in the day was just because he liked the tingly feeling. So sometimes he would just take it only just to get the tingly feeling, sort of.
Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of the tingly feeling, but you'll definitely get the tingling feeling with the Wobbs Dilate. It's got niacin in it as well, so that can because of the dilation from that on the capillaries can actually make you go quite red if you're not used to it. But
we'll try it out here, Stan. We'll do a workout.
Yeah, right. No, but I think I originally used to love the hardcore stimulant stuff, but like now I don't really like you were saying with the how it can almost be a bit too much, or that's what I kind of gathered. Now my go-to is literally the non-stim stuff, and yeah, you might get a little bit of tingles, but it's not gonna like mess with your brain and feel put you in a coma.
Interesting. Definitely interested in that. Okay, we'll see.
We'll see.
Nice.
So one more business thing. So you are also into music. Is that hobby like DJing, or is it actually like getting a serious business?
Yeah, so it's something that I want to get. It's kind of in the middle at the moment. It's like I feel like it's in the transitionary stage. And it's another one of those things that people are like, oh, you're never going to do that. That people have told me I can't do that. I'm determined to do. But I don't really speak about this much on my social medias just because I want to keep the two entities separate. But in terms of music, man, it's like the thing that I really love and I'm really, really passionate about. But it's just the time required to learn to produce music. And there's no shortcuts. There's no cheating it. It's like anything. If you want to become an expert at it, there's no course that you can buy. Like the only way to get good and become that expert level is to sit in a room by yourself for thousands of hours with no reward or anyone telling you like anything. And then it's only once you've like committed that time that you might get somewhere with it. So yeah, I feel like at the minute it's in that transitionary stage. It's really, really picking up. I'm getting a lot of gigs, a lot of sets at the moment, but there's two different things. So it's like on one hand there's DJing, which is fun. But on the other hand, there's music production and creating music, which is the thing that separates the people that really, really want it, I think, if that makes sense.
So there are gigs. So you are getting booked and you are having, you're playing.
Yeah. So I'm flying up to Edinburgh on Thursday, which is pretty exciting. That's going to be the first, say, international. Technically, it's another country, Scotland, but it's within the UK. Yep. So first flight, I'll be getting to DJ, which is super exciting.
Definitely.
I'm playing on Monday in another city as well. Played a couple of times this week. So yeah, I'm pretty busy, man. Pretty busy, making money from it, which is good. But again, it's not about the money, but I know the money makes the world go round equally. But I just fucking love the music.
So as far as I've seen, there's lots of video creators, content creators that also, if they do like they have a passion for creating it, editing and stuff like that, they also seem to really like music and editing in that way. At least that's what I've seen around me, because I would love to learn it as well, but it's just I don't have the time at all. I'm not going to have the time in the next years, because it just takes, like you said, it takes thousands of hours by yourself making trash music until at some point you get something decent and people say, hey, I actually kind of liked it, and then you still need some 10,000 hours more. So that's basically the entire thing. So I do see some correlation there, that whenever you like creating and just liking to create things from nothing, there's music in there as well. So it's awesome that you actually got to do that.
Reminds me of Ben Paulson. So we had a guest about a month ago, Ben Paulson. He's the winner of Australia Ninja Warrior. We didn't really know this, but he is really into producing music as well. And one of the things that he's been trying to get his name out there, because he just did it when we had the conversation with him, was trying to create viral TikTok music that people would hop onto trends.
Yes, great idea.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it didn't really work. The one he tried,
the first one he tried, but he was still working on it. Very intensively, I think, and he's spending a lot of time. But it just is. He is a full-time YouTuber creator right now, trying to upload once a week. I think. Well, if that's your goal, then there's no way you're gonna get enough time basically for making music that really is on a level that you probably are, with actually getting booked and stuff like that. So that's pretty epic that is working for you. That is awesome, man.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, dude, because you can't, as you guys probably know, you can't have it all. That's like something I've realized in the last few years of my life. Like you've only got a finite amount of time, and if you spread yourself too thin, then everything's kind of not going to go very well. So the sacrifices are having to be made and will have to be made, but it's just a matter of priority.
Yeah, that was a question I was actually, in terms of music, that's good. That's doing quite well right now. Then my guess is YouTube and other social media content right now is on a low end for you right now, probably.
Yeah, so I don't really want to, I'm not going to reveal too much, but it's not on the low end. Okay. So that kind of forms a foundation, the YouTube things, and I'm really, really pushing that at the minute. But in terms of like other areas of my life, like I've had to be very brutal with my time, because like there is only so much that I can do. I felt like a few years ago I went through a phase where I took on so much stuff because I just was taking on everything, saying yes to every opportunity, that everything started to kind of fall apart or slip a little bit. And then it's almost like, okay, I don't want that to happen again. So at the moment, I'm just very, very conscious about where my time goes and what things are worth focusing on.
I noticed that when I was trying to invite you for this podcast, but I'm happy you decided to give us a bit of your time. So we do really appreciate that.
Yes.
No, thank you for the invite, man.
No, it's super cool. All of this really, basically leads to a question I have that we always ask all of our guests. Like, what does a standard day look like for you? Because it feels like it's, what's a standard day for you?
Fill it in.
Wow, I could give you so basically, I don't know if you got to put this in at the start, but I mentioned at the start of the podcast that my sleep pattern is all over the place at the moment. So because I've been playing, DJing a lot, I've been not sleeping until like 6 a.m. because I might be playing at 3 a.m. And then I prioritize sleep. So if I'm not sleeping until 6, like I'm getting up at 1 p.m. But that varies a lot, because I love to get up early. I feel like the morning sets the tone for the rest of the day. And like I like to watch the sunrise and have like a very strict and regimented morning routine. So normally if I'm not playing, what I'll do is I'll get up like 6, half 6. I'll meditate for 20 minutes. I'll then don't always go for a walk, but the two things that I do every morning is meditate and read. And then I'll have like a journal and a plan for the rest of the day. So again, this normally varies, but I'll work up until about 12, 1 in kind of like a deep work state from the morning after I've read and meditated, doing like a key essential task that I've set myself, normally YouTube, not really admin stuff. I don't really go on my phone in the mornings. And then I'll do 12 till 2, I'll do some like shallower like admin stuff, get back to emails, etc. I'll eat because I normally fast until about lunch. Then I'll train about 2 p.m. and then I'll go back into like a deeper work block after I get back from training, which is normally about 4 till 6, 7, 8. I work too late. It's really bad. And then I'll do a couple of hours music production after 8 p.m. And that's kind of the way my ideal day would be. But at the minute, I've been going to bed at 6 a.m. and getting up at 1.
I mean, that's we've heard that quite a lot. Like not just the regular day, standard day, but I mean, to make this a day that happens a few times a month. That's
oh yeah, I mean, I can definitely relate, and I think we have a common connection who has really been pushing maybe both of us to do a structure like this, which is pretty funny. I see Stan looking. Yeah, so Iman, we both know Iman pretty well, and he was really big into exactly this routine, basically, and maybe 1,000 things more. But I think keeping it, not too big, your morning routine is pretty good. And there's one thing that I find funny, and I don't know if it's deliberate, but you have your workout ideally around 2 p.m.
Yes.
Is there a reason you do it at 2 p.m.?
There is a reason I do it at 2 p.m. So I don't know if it's the same reason as you. I'm assuming that you train around a similar time, but I've experimented I won't train super early unless I have to.
Yep.
Similarly, I won't train super late unless my day has gone terribly. But yeah, the reason I train around 2 p.m. is just find it's like in terms of my meals, if I fasted, it's a couple of hours before I've eaten. I've got a solid chunk of work done, so it kind of breaks up my work for that day as well. So I'm not just doing a massive block at once. And as well, if I have any stimulants or pre-workout, which I don't do all the time, I try not to have caffeine after 2 p.m. So everything just kind of aligns for 2 p.m. for me being the perfect time to train.
Yeah, and there's one more thing. Well, there's one more reason. So our body temperature actually rises around 2 p.m. And it doesn't matter if you are working or eating before that or whatever. It's just something that happens. And what you will notice between 2 and 4 p.m., for most people, of course, it could be a bit different for everyone, is that you are really shitty at focusing when you're working. Because also your body temperature is elevating. There's a lot of processes happening in your body. So you are getting distracted super easily. You're not very productive. So if you use that time to work out, and around 4 p.m., it's when you can become more productive again. So it's an ideal time to work out. The only issue is chances of injury go up a little bit because you're, again, not as focused, even if you go to the gym. But you know what you're doing.
Oh, wow. I never knew this, man. That's really interesting.
Yeah, so that's sort of
we talked
cool
about
thing.
this recently.
Yeah.
So that's, but I guess for a lot of people, why they do it in the, basically sort of middle of the day is to break it up. At least that's for people that, I think a lot of...
What time do you work out, Sam?
Around like 3-ish. So it can be 2, but it can also be 4. But it is to sort of break up some work. But then it's completely different for me because if I do it at 4, it's literally breaks up my work, but then I eat afterwards and then I go back to work. So it breaks up my work between like dinner and
Yeah, makes sense. That makes sense. I do like a morning session every now and then, but I just find consistently speaking, it's like around 2 p.m. is probably best.
Yeah,
I like a morning. Yeah, I mean a morning session we went to France and I really liked morning sessions there when you go when you're just on holiday or you're somewhere else and you get the workout done and for the rest of the day you have just random stuff doing. So that's basically what I really like in the morning routines.
Yeah, I tried 6 a.m. workouts for about a year. So I'd wake up at 5, be in the gym at 6. It's kind of cool because once you're done with the whole day but the issue is that you can't really go heavy. If you go too heavy, your whole day is going to be shit. You don't have that much strength yet. And it's like social life wise at 8 p.m. You have to tell your friends, sorry, but I'm going to go home because I have to sleep soon because I have to get up at 5.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is an option for you.
No, not particularly well. I do function very well off no sleep, but there comes to a point where I hit a very abrupt and sudden wall, and I don't like to get to that stage, So I know how important sleep is.
It's gonna be like, what's up, Mo? We wanna book you for this gig. No, I can't. I gotta wake up at 6. Gotta get my workout in.
Oh no, don't you worry. Like I will literally play anytime, anywhere, regardless of whether I haven't slept in like 72 hours. The workout. So I'm at the stage though, okay, where the workout will not happen over playing and music.
That's for for most creators, that's probably except if it's like really these fitness, like 100% fitness creators, they probably prioritize the workout. But I would prioritize getting a video done on time for certain reasons than the workout. Yeah.
I've never... Go on, man.
Oh, I was just asking, for people listening or watching right now, is there any way where they can find your music, or is that something you really want to keep like under the radar for now?
No. It's fine. I just don't really. I just keep the two things separate because I just want it to grow organically, you know. But it's, if you search a site, ACITE, on Instagram, SoundCloud, haven't got anything released on SoundCloud at the minute, but I've got an EP coming out in the next months. A site on Instagram is where I post most of the stuff.
Cool.
But yeah, I can't remember what I was going to say, actually. Can't be that important.
I mean, we'll make sure that the link is in the description and the show notes for sure for people.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure.
No, exactly. Yeah, no, I said that depending on goals, people prioritize something else.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, I remember what I was going to say, like, I've never had, it's very weird because I've always prioritized, like, the last few years, gym over everything else. As in, like, if I had a YouTube video, I would even if it was 1 a.m, I would get to the gym that day. Like, it was just like the same as breathing. Like, I wouldn't even think about it, overthink it. I think that's what I know. It's very easy to say, like, when I was more focused on training for like aesthetics and size and other things, I used to get, I still do, but I used to get a lot of people being like, this guy's on steroids, blah, 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 and he's lying about it. But it's like, I know it's such a cliche, like fake natural thing to say. It's like, I don't think those people that say that can put themselves in the same paradigm as me when it comes to like what I consider normal work. As you guys probably know, like from a business standpoint, from a fitness standpoint, like there's work and then there's work, and it's like the way that you see it is purely subjective or purely individual. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And it's just whatever you prioritize and whatever is normal to you. I mean, if there's lots of people that prioritize fitness in that way. And there's not a lot of people that prioritize creating videos in that way. And that's just my priority. But for other people, it might be something completely different. It could be school, for example, that they prioritize school, which is maybe they're pressured into it, or just they really want to do something on school themselves. But yeah, that they just be like, yeah, I work till 3 a.m. and you don't know how hard I'm working for school. Well, I mean, that's how hard you're working for your workouts. And that's basically the same level of work ethics, but they see it as you're just working out an hour a day, and how are you getting these results? I'm not getting these results.
Yeah, I think you've got to think like I'm doing more of what you're doing now in terms of like I will prioritize YouTube, I'll prioritize music over the training side of things. But I just think it's like you just got to pick the things that really matter to you, don't you? And just like focus, like really, really laser vision on those couple of things in order to make them work.
100%. And there's no wrong choice. It's just pure preference, and just wherever you're willing to, whatever you prioritize, whatever you're willing to put in the 130% work instead of the 100% work in, basically, which is what for me is, it's creating videos, creating content, and getting everything as perfect as possible. In that sense, but yeah.
I think that's a wrong choice, which is not making a choice.
Yeah.
Which is also what you said, Mo, like what you did a few years back, and I've gone through that phase, and maybe you as well, Stan, that especially if you're like, you're trying to build a business, or there's so many opportunities and there's so many things you can do, and it's so easy to lose yourself in that and just say yes, and then everything will be done like half or pretty shit. So as long as you choose what to focus on, I think you'll be fine. And if you really commit, of course. I want to go back for 1 sec when you said steroids. So has there been a time where you were really like, okay, I might start using, or I should start taking, or what's your like thought process there?
Yeah, 100%. So I think if I didn't have the issues I had with my leg, I probably would have taken stuff very young. Because like I said, like I was absolutely obsessed with the gym. I'd spend like 3 hours in there sometimes. Dude, I would train legs 3 times a week. And I don't mean like a little like fluffy leg session. I mean like listening to like death metal, like thinking I'm like some warrior going to war, like absolutely going to failure at every set. So yeah, I was like, obviously it's too excessive, but yeah, I was ridiculously into the gym. And a lot of my friends started taking stuff, especially on social media as well. Like if you've got big guys that are bodybuilders, they're all taking shit as well. And if I didn't have the condition on my leg, it's more than likely I would have started taking gear. But then it's like, okay, so if I'm injecting stuff into my glutes, for example, with the immunosuppression with my leg, it puts me at risk for infections, which is like very, very, very bad. And then the effects in your immune system as well. And then also, man, the other things, as in like I had a little bit of acne when I was younger, genetically predisposed to hair loss as well. Like if I was on gear, I'd be completely bald. My hairline's pretty mediocre as it is anyway. So it's like, it's just a personal preference. I have nothing against people that are on stuff, but I think at this stage in my life, it's not worth it. And especially as with the in terms of my goals regarding training and other things, like I am too big, like for the way I want to look. Like I don't look in the mirror and think I'm small. I look in the mirror and think I'm too big. I need to get smaller. It's like, why would I take shit at this stage? Yep. And yeah, dude, that's pretty much it. But I don't want to completely disregard I think like when I'm older, I plan on going on TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. But it's obviously very easy to say that. And when I come to it, am I going to be like, nah? But I've always thought about when I'm like 30.
What's the reason for that?
Just like longevity and health reasons. Well, I say longevity, just so you feel young, you have that energy again, you have that same sex drive, you have that potential to build muscle. And also, I read anecdotally that Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk are also on TRT as well, for the way that it changes your brain structure and your thought patterns and the way that you actually think about things, which is another interesting thing for me, like that go-getter, like fucking kill it kind of mentality, you know, is associated with testosterone.
Oh,
yeah, I had people ask me lately, like, because, you know, mid-30s here, so people asking like, hey, you go to the gym a lot, do you take TRT? I saw it as a compliment because they did it after me posting some shirtless photos, so I saw it as it's difficult. I've done some research on it. I don't think it's going to be my thing.
No? Interesting.
Yeah, it's because it's still like putting something in. I really am reluctant into putting things into my body. Even like if you have a headache or anything, like a small painkiller, I'm really into like, let's try not to go there if not needed.
And also it's a lifelong choice, right? TRT.
It's kind of, I think people, so I'm no expert at all. Like obviously there's people on social media like Josh Bridgman and who's a good friend of mine who takes stuff and is very open about it and is very clued up about it. But I think it comes down to the individual. So it's a bit like a genetic lottery. So in the sense you can take, you could, let's say you run a steroid cycle like really young, you could run that cycle and have like absolutely nothing come off it in the correct way, or just like go cold turkey on it. You could be completely fine and have no issues whatsoever, or you could get completely shut down as far as I understand, and then kind of screw up your endocrine system for the rest of your life. So it's like, it's a lottery in that sense. And also for me at a young age, another thing is like, it's so funny speaking about this because I'm like, I know there's people out there be like, this guy's definitely like analyzing my every like non-verbal cue and like, oh, he touched his neck, he's lying. But yeah, another thing would be in terms of fertility as well, because I do want kids, and it's like it can have an effect on fertility, which is why I wouldn't be inclined to do it when I was young, or maybe until I've had children. Who knows?
Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah. So no, I think I'm a bit similar to Bob in terms of reluctant to putting anything in your body in terms of, I guess, in that way. Pain
medication, other things, I'm very similar in that sense. I know a lot of people as well probably think that I go partying every weekend and take loads and loads of, but I'm actually very sensible. I don't put a lot of stuff in my body either.
Alcohol you do though, I think.
I don't drink, dude. I don't actually drink that much alcohol. It's a bit of
really, because that's the feeling I had. Because you do put yourself in stories where you are drinking, I think.
Yeah, so I play the majority of my DJ sets completely sober.
Okay, makes sense.
Entirely sober. Like a lot of DJs do other things, but like I think it's and they like to get drunk before. But I think it's like anything. If you have a crutch to like you're going to rely on it, and it's a slippery slope.
Now, what I think is pretty good, and now I don't think we should spend too much time in our podcast speaking about. We'll see what we do with this part.
My favorite things.
But what I do think is good in general in society right now is that for a very long time, especially drinking, was very like, there was peer pressure. Like, oh, you're so boring because you don't drink, or what, you don't drink, what are you like? So I think it's slowly changing because, to be honest, alcohol is much more damaging to your body than smoking a bit of every now and then, for example.
Oh, I agree, man. Yeah.
And there's such a stigma on like, oh yeah, bad, but alcohol, no. I mean, you're stupid if you don't drink it, and that really blows my mind. And I'm happy to see that it is slowly changing.
I feel like sugar and alcohol are overlooked by miles. Like it's crazy.
I think it's crazy with the alcohol, especially like the amount of oxidation it causes. Other things, how it's like legal and okay to go and binge drink every weekend. It's like societally acceptable. It's like, bro,
we've talked about a lot of different stuff, a lot of interesting stuff. What are goals? What are things you have on your mind, what you want to work towards, and some future stuff? I don't really like the question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? But I do more like, what are your goals and how are you going to work towards them? And do you think you'll reach them?
Do I think I'll reach them? Absolutely, man. Like I said to you earlier in the podcast, I think that if you want something bad enough and you're willing to, but it's not a matter of how, it's not a matter of luck, like getting to a certain place. I honestly believe that it's a matter of how bad you want it and how much time you're willing to invest into that thing. And sure, you can, there's smart ways of working, there's not smart ways of working, but in terms of like getting to a point, it's raw time and practice that you put into anything. So yeah, in terms of getting to goals and where I want to be, like I have absolutely no doubt that I will. It's just a matter of how bad do I want it and what those specific things are. Like we've touched on, like music is a big one for me. That's something that I do see myself doing in the next couple of years, doing a lot more on. In terms of social media, like who knows? Don't want to give too much away. Like we'll see what happens.
You've mentioned this twice now. Yeah. I want to know more. I want to know a little bit more.
What do you want to know?
What are you hiding? What are your goals in terms of social media? What do you want to grow and how?
Okay, so first of all, like quick disclaimer, I feel like I'm in my life right now, I'm in like a transitionary period. Like I feel like I've got very good at certain things, and now I want to go on to this next cycle and kind of learn different things and go down a slightly different path. So with when I say that in terms of social media, what I mean is like, okay, let's say we're gonna map out something that I would enjoy happening. I'm not going to say an ideal because like obviously our ideals change. Like in terms of the social media side of things, music takes off, goes absolutely wild. I stop producing fitness content or such typical YouTube content. I focus on the music, kind of pull back from social media a lot. So I'm not on Instagram so much, etc., on socials and other things. I'll continue to produce YouTube videos, but as more like messing around tour videos, like complementing the music, other things like documenting that side of the lifestyle. And then I'll keep doing fitness and other things as well, but that'll kind of like take a bit of a backseat, or that's a bit of a gray area. But I just mean in terms of YouTube and socials, like there's a lot of uncertainty about it. Like unless that it's a bit of a sunken, like I don't want it to be a sunken cost fallacy. So in the sense that I'm willing to really go hard and go in on it for the next few months, but come next year, for example, if it isn't working out, like I will do something else, like something else creative, or put my time and energy into something else. So does that make sense?
Yeah. Definitely. So, maybe for the listeners, just sunken cost, basically what it means is that you've put a lot of time and effort in something, and then people think it's a shame to stop or to change because I've put so much time and effort in it, which probably leads to pretty bad results. If something isn't working, you shouldn't care about what you've put in. You should care about what can I do to change to actually get the results that I want. And that's sort of just to add to explain sunk cost.
Yeah.
So your goal mainly right now is music and growing that and supplementing that with socials that you've already built.
Yeah. So if we break it down to a couple of things, first thing is to grow music, to get into a position where I'm producing like beautiful tracks that make people feel a certain way and like invoke all these emotions and make the world a better place, yada. Second thing is continue to grow my socials and actually like help people out and change lives via that, and as well as myself and other things. And the third thing is as well, in terms of like the three main goals at the minute, is to continue and like provide more financially for my mum and my little sisters and other things, which kind of ties into the first 2 points. So those are kind of like, that's kind of the three main things I'm focused on at the minute: music, socials, money, and providing for my family.
Oh, that's awesome. Cool. And in terms of supplementing that with your socials, with your music career, would you say that you're going to do something like, do you know the Martin Garrix show on YouTube? It's like they followed him. Do you know Martin Garrix? Probably.
Yeah, let me just search him up.
Martin Garrix was chosen the best DJ in the world for like 6 years in a row now, I think.
Your pronunciation is just a little bit different.
It's Dutch, so yeah.
What is this? Martin Garrix.
Yeah. So I'll just Garrett. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I know him. I know of him. I couldn't name any tracks from him, but yeah, I'm listening. Okay,
so they followed him. It's on his YouTube channel. It's called the Martin Garrix Show. They did that. I'm not sure if they're still doing it, but they did that quite some time ago. You could create something like that. It was super interesting. Lots of people found it interesting. You do have to have a name in the industry already before people will probably watch that. But you could check out some episodes of that, and it will probably be interesting to watch, because I am not even into the DJ lifestyle. Like it's not something that, I mean, I don't party or something like that, but I thought it was super interesting to see his life behind the scenes and the way they created that. So you could look into that, but I was thinking about that right away when you said supplementing that with.
Yeah, I'll check it out, man. I'll check it out. But no, I haven't actually heard of the Martin Garrix show, but I've just Googled it, YouTubed it. I'll get involved.
Nice.
Awesome.
there's another thing I wanted to get back to. So I know skydiving has been a pretty big thing for you. I've seen a lot of videos, photos, whatever, which I find super intriguing in combination with what you said. Like if you get a cut on your leg or something happens with your leg, it's pretty dangerous. So do you think, because I think you are sort of a thrill seeker in a way, but do you think the lag actually enhances that sort of that feeling? Like I want to take some risks or I want to see where the boundaries are, or is it just, you just love skydiving and that's it?
That's a tricky one as well, because it's like how you'll never know how the two are linked, are you, or if they are linked. But part of me wants to say that it's because I've had I've spent so much of my childhood like in hospital and being told like the things that I can't do, and like spent so much time in pain and in a hospital bed and like not being able to walk or do anything. Literally thinking I'm gonna die at times, man. Like I've been in some bad ways. Part of me is like, okay, because I've had that on a subconscious level, do I want to do absolutely everything that I can, experience like absolutely everything that I can? I think on the flip side as well, though, like I am definitely an adrenaline junkie. Like, I read something on it the other day. What's the book called? I think it was, can't remember. It's from a neurologist, but basically they talk about how the pathways associated with doing things. So like, let's say for example, like doing things where you're close to death. You do something and your brain thinks you might die, and then you don't die. Let's say for example, skydiving. The reward that your brain gives you is, or that reward mechanism, that circuitry is like incredibly powerful. Like it's such a feel good feeling. So we get into these like habits or like adrenaline junkies where it's not so much the adrenaline, it's more of like thinking you're going to die, not dying, and then you feel absolutely fantastic. But yeah, I'd say it comes down to a level of being naturally that, my childhood, doing stuff like that with my father as well, and then the leg playing a big part in it, man, in terms of
all right. That was a good question. Yeah, that was an interesting one. And all right, I would say that sort of was a guess already, that like skydiving for fun. I mean, I think I still want to try it once maybe, but maybe I will love it. But yeah, it's definitely something you don't do just for like, if you do it constantly, consistently, you're loving it, you're probably having some adrenaline rush and
It's safe. It's very safe, dude. So like, it's weird because the first one you do, so the first one I did anyway, was absolutely terrifying. I hated it. But then the more you do, the fear subsides and the like euphoria or the fun increases. So like now I'll literally fall asleep going up in the plane. Like I don't really get anxious or like I don't really get a fat adrenaline rush from it. It's more like you are literally flying your body, man. You are. It's not falling; it is flying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good way to look at it.
Yeah, I once wanted, when I was in Bali with Iman, for his birthday, I wanted to get skydiving for the both of us, but it got cancelled last minute. So we went, what was it, paragliding or something, which is pretty boring, to be honest. But yeah, I think I'd be so scared.
I think so as well.
But at the same time, I do want to try it, but I think I'd be so scared. It's weird.
I was terrified.
Yeah.
I hated the first one I did.
All right. Okay.
Cool.
So we know quite a lot about you now. Is there something we should know? Is there something else that maybe you haven't told anyone on social media yet, or something that we didn't touch on, but it's a big part of your life?
Not particularly. Nothing I wanna cover.
Okay, then we did.
Well, nothing that's hidden and like nothing. Yeah. So
we did a good job then.
We did a good job. Yeah. We always have a few sort of final questions to end off with. The first one is, what is your superpower? What do you excel at? What are you just really good at? You can brag.
Okay. I'd say obsession is my superpower, in the sense that, like I've mentioned, if I want something or if I see something, I will get it. I will make it happen. It's just a matter of how much you desire that thing. So I think it's good and it's bad, take it or leave it. But getting absolutely obsessed over a thing and making it happen is probably one of my best traits.
Yeah.
All right. That sounds like a really good one. Yeah.
I think if you look at what happened with your leg, that's a perfect example of why it is a superpower of you. So yeah.
Okay. So last question. What do you think in general is going to be the next big thing? So for everything, does not have to be for you. So like your music career, for example, but like in general, we've had space travel, we've had crypto, for example. What is going to be the next big thing that in maybe 5 or 10 years people are going to say, oh, that actually grew like insane the past 10 years?
Oh, you put me on the spot here.
Yes.
I've got completely blank. God.
First time in my life I see Mo like this. That's nice.
Not willing to speak. Yeah. Difficult one, man.
Are we going to colonize Mars?
Colonize Mars, we've had that as well.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of big thing that you might have seen something
I see something
in the
here.
news. Oh, okay. He's ready.
What is it?
Oh, I don't know. You were like I know it.
Oh no, I thought you were telling me something.
Oh no.
No, it might be that you've seen something in the news, for example, or you're like,
I'm not going to be able to answer the question because I want to give like a good, meaningful answer that I honestly believe is going to be like the next evolution of humanity. But unfortunately, I have absolutely nothing. So I'm gonna say something, end up saying something ridiculous, like some new food source that's like nice, slightly sweeter than aspartame or something.
Next big thing: a pre-workout without stimulants. There we go.
There we go. A pre-workout with that you snort. That's the next big thing. There we go.
You have to bleep that in the edit. Pre-workout with bleep. All right. But Mo, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you so much, man.
I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I really, really did. I appreciate you inviting me on, and
Nice.
I had a great time. And it's just nice to chat to you, lads, and nice to meet you, Stan.
Nice to meet you as well, man.
All the links to Mo's socials, everything, including his music, in the show notes, description, everywhere. Thank you so much, Mo, and we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time. Baba booey.